Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of Wrestling in Mom's Basement. I am, of course, Patrick Young. This guy to my right once checked his bathwater and by yelling, "It's not hot!" Joe Venuto.
It really wasn't. This is the Raw vs. SmackDown Live at NXT Review podcast. The way we do it is we talk about the main stuff that happened on the two main shows. And otherwise, anytime we forget that I'm pretty much going what we like with the main stuff, why Raw was good, why SmackDown was good, whatever. And then if we have anything to add, so I guess we do our reasons for Raw first. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll start off with, I'll start with opening Raw. I actually like that the opener didn't actually lead to a match later on the show. It actually led to a match it's actually leading to a match next week. And it's a big match too, physically and marquee-wise. Roman, Braun, and Joe in a triple threat match next week. That got a lot of interest from me, and I can't wait to see the match.
That was the first time I liked too. The opener was excellent. Raw has, since the shakeup, I feel like has been the only openers. Like, the openers are a little bit different now. I think a lot of times it was Stephanie not being there. So here, yeah. And Angle will open up the show every week. Sometimes I think Angle's there.
I would like them to switch it to a match sometimes, but I like that they broke the tradition of setting up your main event or setting up a match later to happen that night.
Yeah, the storylines are excellent. I'm not normally one for multi-people matches or the main championships on the big shows, but in this case, as Brock, Braun, Roman, and Joe is hard to keep away from at this point. These are the four biggest guys on Raw right now. So it makes sense. I do think the Raw creative team deserves a credit for actually making this match feel big. And I do think the match is unpredictable, because I don't think this is one where Brock walks out the winner. But I know it's WWE, but I don't see them giving it to Roman yet either. I won't be surprised, or I won't be angry they do. Because look at his next coordination. I say let's call it out of the way again. But overall, they have done a great job with all four of these guys. And Brock, he was on the show this week. This felt motivated with this storyline. So it'll be interesting, and I believe Brock's on this week, to see how he interacts with Braun and Roman now into the storyline.
No, you can take the next one.
One of the things I did like about Raw was like we're finally getting the boss back. I think it's a main roster women's division. Taken week by week here.
Yeah.
And this week both shows had hits for the women's division. I thought Raw did a good job with the whole Sasha's building to her turn point finally with Bayley.
I mean, she showed signs of it before, but it ended up going, okay, well, her and Bayley are just friends again. I mean, even after Romania, where she just said, here's your women's champion, just Bayley. And then never actually followed up on that. Until now, which actually feels pretty good to watch, because Sasha is actually an amazing heel. You saw that a lot in NXT.
This felt like part one, and actually a long story for a change, because it was an all-night story for the part one of the story. That makes sense, because Alexa first played inside everybody's head in the backstage area with Renee when she called him team.
Stand back has two meanings as a verb. 1. Stay clear of going. 2. Stand away from an object or person.
Funny enough, she talked about Stand Back, as in the Vince McMahon song from the first Slimies.
Boys called him Team Ugh, and then she pointed at Sasha's head pretty much in the backstage segment. The match I thought was easily one of the better matches that they had on the main roster. Nice to see the crowd involved in a Billy match for a change. Crowd didn't react to Billy though, as busy did Sasha on entrances, but they got behind Billy during the match.
However, do you think that might lead to a problem where Sasha's getting the stronger face reactions
Then Billy.
than Bailey has? And
Well-
especially if they do the heel turn with Sasha.
Yeah, in the 1980s, this would have been a huge problem.
It's true.
I would like it to be a little old school and say, because the kind of babyface Billy should be, that yeah, that's a problem. But since I really don't know what kind of babyface Billy is right now, it was just nice to see Billy allowed to be out there and look normal, be able to not be booked like a loser for a change role. And in the match, Sasha let her guard down again with the crossbody up the rope. That Billy, not crossbody, the frog splash, and Billy reversed that pinfall into her own for the win. I would prefer to see Alexa and Sasha live, but Billy's Alexa's second best opponent, in my opinion, so it should be a good match.
Alright, well, I guess I'll continue next. I'll actually go with probably my next favorite part of the show, for me, which was the Shield reunion, the Slate Shield reunion we had in the main event. I just loved seeing Seth and Dean teaming up. Mr. Raj did great, but it could have honestly been anybody, and I would have thoroughly enjoyed it. As I think Joe mentioned earlier in a different video a couple weeks ago, that the Shield are actually my favorite stable. That is 100% true. They really are. And anything that sort of brings them sort of together, I'm already on board to enjoy. I still like that they're still holding off on the full, like, the fist bump Shield thing. Maybe the hug I wouldn't have done it automatically. Maybe like a high five or whatever, to show that there's still a little distrust between Dean and Seth. But it's two members of the Shield that aren't always teaming together like Dean and Roman. So yeah, that's a part of the show I really enjoyed.
I love the slow build here that they seem to be doing with this. I'm guessing they're the number one contenders for the tag team titles at SummerSlam. I'm guessing.
Yeah, they showed Sheamus and Cesaro watching on monitors.
This is over a case too where I feel like the right team won the handicap match for a change. Because on the handicap matches, I picked the team that's favorite, that has the better odds should win. In this case, though, in terms of stories, it's basically looks like he's moving to a feud with Jason Jordan, and then this was the right call. I don't mind a hug much because Dean's the one to initiate the hug, and I think it was a spurred moment because Dean finally got one up on Miz, and he's a whack. Anyway, Seth wanted the hug to begin with, but why I liked the hug because Dean realized what he did. Once Seth put out the fist, and Dean was letting his guard down, getting close to Seth and trusted him, and then Dean realized and walked away. I feel like Dean was just in the spur of the moment, but what Dean won't realize is if it wasn't for Seth and him, Miz with the knee, Dean would have won the match. To get the dagger. I don't think they. I'm not. I want to say though. I want to start to say they're the ones who say Cesaro and Sheamus because it might be tight turmoil, but I don't think they're the team to beat Cesaro or Sheamus though either.
No.
I pretty sure it's gonna be a revival down the line. Why had to be Cesaro and Sheamus? I don't know. Because there's not really many face teams left other than Hardy's.
Yeah.
And he's slaying Rhino, but I mean, they're not really going to build up like that.
It really would depend on if they're planning on putting Roman in this situation
Or not.
or not, and how quickly that could unfold. Like if you're gonna do it by like November, say for Survivor Series, you probably could give them the belts,
Right, yeah.
and then have at least a decent reign before they get Roman and they have to kick some three guys' asses. So it really depends on the time and what they would have planned for Roman.
And considering WWE's in breakup tag team mode right now, and they are staying in division for a little bit. Raw does have a nice set of tag teams still, though, with the Hardys, the Demon Seth, Slayer Rhino, Anderson Gallows, Cesar Sheamus, and the Revival, and I think that's it. No, and Bo and Axel. So yeah, they got a good group. There's really not really a jobber heel team though on Raw.
Yeah.
Not even Bo and Axel, but especially with Miz, and that lifts them up. But yeah. And another thing I did like about Raw was Finn.
Yeah.
For the match itself was Elias's. Excuse me, not Elias.
No Samson, just Elias.
That wasn't important news. That's what that one in the news video, but just
Yeah.
to let you know. If you're just confused on Monday, Vince decided Samson's not good enough, I guess.
He just likes taking away halves and names. I don't get it.
I thought it was Elias' best outing to date. The match was longer than what was shown on the Hulu version, but my standout of the match was Finn because it seems like there's a demon coming out in him. I think the whole story on Bray is that, because
He's gonna try to drag the demon out of him.
Finn was more aggressive here and vicious, which I did like. And then, of course, Bray calls Finn a match. I think it's going to make Finn snap eventually. And then at SummerSlam will be Bray versus the Demon King.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the match. I know. If I haven't said it in videos, I've said it before to Joe that I don't really have that much interest in seeing Bray and Finn as a feud, and maybe that it'll look cool visually, but I don't think I'd enjoy it. I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong on all, and I'm actually starting to enjoy it a bit more. It seems like they actually do have a hold of what Bray should be doing with Finn.
Which is a huge compliment for Booker
Yeah.
and Bray, because...
Yeah, which could always go out of whack at a moment's notice.
Right.
But yeah, it was nice to see Finn, who, I mean, just before now on the main roster, was pretty much, oh yeah, he's a guy that's good at wrestling, and sometimes he paints his face. It was nice to see that a little, like, aggression, like, the demon's actually causing him to be more aggressive. And that's nice to see. And again, it's going to lead to the Finn painted up in all demon gear and Bray Wyatt in his hat holding a lantern, so that should be really cool to see.
Anything else from what you've seen on the Hulu version?
No, not really.
The only thing I would say that I would say enjoy was the Revival versus Anderson Gallows. I'm not really sure in the Hardy situation. I'm not really sure if Anderson and Gallows were face for a night, but they acted like faces throughout the whole night. So, because they were fighting a Revival. But yeah, and we're going back to the women's division too. I actually did enjoy Nia this week.
I do have something good.
She did that flip it set time to Emma, which I thought was impressive as hell.
And Emma showed up on Raw.
Right.
That's something new.
I think it's a storyline, and maybe punishment for what she said on last week's show, where she said it was her 5-year anniversary, and she's not on the show. Who knows? Because, they like to punish people who won't be on TV.
But, they punished her by putting her on TV, which she wanted, so...
And a complete squash. I think people aren't realizing that.
I'm taking a little victory where I can get them.
Her show...
And you know what? She got taken out in a pretty cool move with the flipping center, so...
There's a great motivational move, Simon. You lost to a pretty cool move that I have high hopes for her.
Well, at least she didn't lose to, like, a finger poke.
But, yeah.
I mean, at least it was something, like, cool and stand-outing that took her out of the match.
There's rumors of a Superstar Shakeout, which we'll get to in part 3. Emma shook up to NXT or SmackDown where she could fight Charlotte or Becky or Ember,
Nikki,
Ruby, somebody.
Ember. She can join with her fellow Aussies and Peyton and Billy.
Raw got on the right track with the woman this week, but I think Raw also doesn't realize they have other women in the back. that they could use. But overall, for me, that was it from Raw.
Yeah, that was it for me too.
Now we'll do things we like about SmackDown.
Well, the thing that I loved most, and that was, I guess we'll group them together since it was the opening promo and the main event. First to start off with, it was a nice surprise to see Jericho, which no one actually expected. No one called like, "Hey, Jericho is in Baltimore, Washington. Which city were they in?"
Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well,
he was in a
somewhere slightly out.
He was in the
area, Richmond, Virginia. I don't think anyone knew that he was coming, and it's always great to see Jericho. The opening promo where he said he won the title, and AJ said he won the title, and Owen saying he's not going to defend it, then Bryan coming out. It's generally a formulaic process to get to that point, but it ended up in a really, really cool main event for the show in AJ, Owens, and Jericho. It's probably the best main event SmackDown's had in a couple months, I would say. And the newsworthy thing was that AJ won the belt by pinning Jericho and throwing Owens out of the ring. And the final words of the show were that Owens is cashing in his rematch clause next week. So,
I did think that Jericho surprise really lifted SmackDown after Battleground.
the surprise of Jericho, welcoming back, man.
But that wasn't the only thing about SmackDown. With Jericho's surprise, it definitely added to it. But you could tell it felt like something different was in the air on SmackDown this week that has been like for the last since Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Because even the build of Battleground was sort of just there. The main event was awesome. Obviously, it was the best match of the week. Yeah, I'm not sure if Jericho's staying. Right or not, I would love it if he did. And if he is, it will only be for a month. Well, a month with Jericho is better than no months with Jericho. I'm not sure where they go with the U.S. title picture for SummerSlam, since I'm pretty sure AJ Owens blows off finally next week.
Yeah. It probably would be Jericho.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of. I think this is the best SmackDown main event probably since AJ and Orton.
Yeah.
Back in March for number one contender. Which now looking back on AJ showed one, and then Orton just still got involved because he was the Rumble winner and did Triple Threat.
Yeah.
Or failed forward with Harper.
Yeah, Harper.
Yeah.
Somebody else besides Brian Orton.
Yeah, the match itself will fit. The Triple Threat match will fit right at Battleground. As a match Battleground desperately needed to elevate that F grade. At least this way we got the Triple Threat and the Usos and New Day. But overall, I'm expecting a better match from AJ Owens next week too. Because nowadays, when it comes to when it shows before a big show, you expect better matches on TV than pay-per-view. But that's not the only match for next week, so I'll get that to my next point. Another I did like about SmackDown was Nakamura wrestled like Nakamura. He was stiff, and he took it to Corbin. Corbin took it to him. Match was much better than what they had at Battleground.
Yeah.
So they do have chemistry, it was clear. The match was booked better than they were at Battleground. I'm not a fan of Money in the Bank people losing clean, but that's literally the process for the real Money in the Bank winners. I will give them credit with Carmella, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Carmella has been wrestling since she's won Money in the Bank. So I'll give them credit with her. And what I don't like what they're doing is Corbin's not chasing anything to champ. Besides the first week.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone after Jinder. And at this point, he'll be able to walk the site as champ. But I thought the match was really good. It was nice to knock Nakamura back, and Raw has a good workout. Yeah, Raw is a big match next week. SmackDown has two, though. Because also next week will be Nakamura versus Cena for the first time ever. which I don't have a problem now that after Justin Lombard reading his tweets on it from WrestleZone. Why makes sense? You want to get your most out of Cena now that he's a part-timer. So, because he won't be there for every show.
Yeah.
Because I originally complained out that was a big 4 main event easily anywhere. And the big 4 shows. But, yeah, it was nice to see Nakamura. It was the first time we've seen Nakamura like that on the main roster, actually. Besides Money in the Bank with AJ. That was the only time Nakamura saw like Nakamura.
Yeah. It felt like in that match he adopted what he's known for in New Japan and what he was also known for in NXT, which was the strong style and kicks and knees and strikes and like that. I think for Nakamura that has to lead for him. And that hasn't always been the case since he's been up in the main roster.
And before I guess we go on, I will say that Nakamura needs to really bring it next week.
Yeah.
Because like his
Cena will
bring it.
Yeah.
This is where Nakamura needs to have his best main roster performance to date. The Nakamura that fought AJ in the Money in the Bank match and the Nakamura that fought Corbin this week is the Nakamura that needs to be with Cena next week. So yeah.
Well, the next thing I enjoyed was it wasn't the major, like a long, big part of the show, but I did like the fact that the Usos wanted to take revenge on the New Day for winning their titles. It's not always you see that. It's usually either glossed over or they go to the GM's office where I want my title back. I'm calling my rematch clause at the next pay-per-view or tonight later in the show or whatever. It's nice that instead of just like, hey, I just want my title back, and hey, no worries, I just want my title back. It felt a lot more refreshing just for the Usos to come down and beat up the New Day before they did their big grand entrance, and which was a nice touch. They actually attacked him when Big E was doing the big intro spiel for New Day. So it felt like they caught them off guard, and right when they're ready to come out and celebrate their new ring.
Yeah. I like pass up short, so there's not really much for me to add. I will say their matches are proven. I guess what JBL says every time they're on air was they're the 2 best tag teams of the last decade. So obviously JBL doesn't watch NXT fully because he would put a Revival American Alpha in that conversation. But on the main roster, Usos and New Day are definitely the 2 best teams of the last decade. And their matches are backing that up. And SmackDown's done wonders for both of them. Usos are still as hell as faces. The 3-minute warring vibe I get from them. That's who I've been.
Yeah.
That's really.
Did you just say 3 minutes?
That's done wonders for them. And the New Day feel fresh again on SmackDown. After on Raw, I thought they should break up.
Yeah.
But now, honestly, I'm not sure New Day should ever break up. Maybe eventually break into singles competition, but still stay in an alliance. I'm not sure they should ever break up. But that's all.
You should become more of a stable than a team.
Yeah. But that's all I really got added that. And speaking of breaking up, it was nice to see SmackDown actually break up their woman. Sweet.
Yeah.
Into, I think, 3 separate feuds. Or 4, I don't know. Because they only see with Natalya and Carmella.
Yeah.
My favorite part of it was Carmella, though. Like, she's literally stalking Naomi.
Yeah. Like the second she trips, she's gonna be right there with the briefcase.
I don't say SmackDown's doing a bad job of Corbin with the briefcase. They just haven't dived into that yet.
And maybe it's just because they're
not doing that yet.
They're not doing it right away.
Edge enters the heel champ and all that.
And technically, there's more.
It needs to be established with the woman.
Nothing needs to be established, but there's more momentum behind the woman's briefcase. Because there was a lot of talk about how that match ended. And that, a man grabbed the briefcase for the woman and whatever. Like that, maybe they're building towards that as a slow burn, and maybe they don't want to slow burn that because maybe Carmella will get lost in that shuffle, even though she has the briefcase. So that's probably going to go pretty quickly, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Compared to Corbin, where it may be until like Royal Rumble where he actually cashes it in.
Oh, I hope not. Because I don't see him become champ. Done with champion to me.
I'm just saying Royal Rumble's an arbitrary date in the distance.
You want an arbitrary date? Corbin catches in a wire face beast gender at SummerSlam because somebody needs to win. Corbin holds the belt to Rumble. Loses it to AJ or Nakamura. Either or wins the Royal Rumble. That person beats Cena at Elimination Chamber for the title. And Corbin in triple threat. The other person washes. And there's a WrestleMania match. Now, I won't say main event because it won't main event, but it'll happen at WrestleMania. There you go.
I have a much stronger feeling that at SummerSlam, Carmelo's cashing it in.
Then Corbin.
Yeah, than Corbin is. Just because I see the next night, Asuka probably going to lose the belt at NXT TakeOver to Ember. She goes over to SmackDown, and then you get the shot of Carmelo finally holding the belt, but Asuka is either just comes out or is like right behind her. So
yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen instead of Corbin doing that at SummerSlam.
And not to go for Naomi and Carmella though, Natalya, I like to roll the partner right now, but she's insulted by Naomi, making the belt a toy. Naomi, I thought, caught her best promo in the second half of the promo when she responded back to Natalya. She sounded a little heel at some points when she was talking about Natalya's stuck in the dusty old dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
It sounded sort of disrespectful, but then she turned around by saying she respects the tradition. She put her own twist on it. And I like a lot of people on the Gold topic. I don't have a problem with the glow belt. As
long as it stays
with Naomi.
That means if someone else gets that, there's no more glow stuff on that belt.
Right. I do give Naomi credit that she's trying to keep in with the times. So like she's like trendy with that. And you can tell she has her own input in this. Wish she was booked better as champ, but hopefully Natalya and her can actually focus on their feud and Carmella. I like the role Natalya put in. Naomi cut her better promo date. I don't even want to know what Naomi was like doing on commentary at Battleground.
Actually, to go off on a little tangent here, just a blank question. Would the spinner belt actually be in the same category? Like, if it's just stayed with Cena instead of going on for the years it did, would it be treated as badly, or would it be looked a little bit more fondler? Looked at more fondly?
I feel we look at it more fondly, because I'm looking at it right now. And it's not a bad looking belt for the gimmick Cena had at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, Bling was in. I think that's what they called it.
And by the way, just to answer your question that you might have, he has with like the toy belts up there, and one is the John Cena spinner belt.
Yeah.
For the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I think we remember more fondly, but keeping it around for like 8 years to help.
Yeah.
It's like I believe it's like the second longest reigning championship for the main belts.
Yeah.
The longest being the Winning Eagle from 84 to 97.
Yes.
Yeah. And I get back to the woman real quick. I'm interested in what they do with Charlotte and Becky too, because it looks like Charlotte and Becky ended the feud with Tamina and Lana. I actually wouldn't mind they had Becky and Charlotte just have like a friendly one-on-one kickoff match at SummerSlam. Of course, they'll probably outshine the two women's title matches now at SummerSlam, so you might not want to do that.
That would actually probably be the main roster's best bet at actually trying to top whatever NXT is going to. Well, topping Ember.
Well, good too. So we don't spoil you in a few minutes, but apparently we're going to spoil you. Okay, you knew what the match was going to be. I don't know what they're doing with Tamina and Lana. I had no idea what's going on, but at least literally all the women on SmackDown do have a story. I'm not interested in that one as much, but at least they're doing something. I'm not sure. Lana's crying, that was horrible. Tami's frustration was good, but like I said,
Why do you think she's supposed to be an actress, Lana?
yeah, who knows? Lana's charisma and Tamina's basic wrestling skills will make a decent woman's wrestler. Take that.
Funny thing is, they're in two different bodies.
Together, it's like the blind leading the blind. But at least they have a story separate from everybody else. So I'll see where it goes. At least SmackDown knows everybody exists. If Mickey and Emma were on Raw or on SmackDown, they'll exist. Hell, even Alicia and Dana will be thrown into roles that will be useful.
Yeah.
Anything else for SmackDown stuff?
Well, for the possible Becky and Charlotte match. Maybe they can add a stipulation that one of them becomes number one contender, just to add a little spice to it.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I don't think it necessarily needs it for it to be a good match.
nah. I think that's it from SmackDown. The only other thing I could think of was the Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger beat Mike Kanellis and A. English, with Mike getting pinned. Probably not surprisingly at this point.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I didn't mention that I love about SmackDown. So, out of everything else I had that I mentioned I love, so
Yeah.
that shows when SmackDown's back to normal. It was like only one thing. With Raw, there were a little bit more things I didn't love this week, but it was still a good show from Raw. Biggest booking mistake of the week from the show. Normally it's the woman.
Yeah. Biggest booking mistake.
I got mine, so did you want me to go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, easily Raw. Jason Jordan. The fans turned on. Last year, the fans grew him a bat. Like, not silence, but like. Oh, okay. One who was revealed. Yeah. Or exactly, huh? This week he got bored chance. It wasn't the match. Everybody knows George is gonna ring. He don't have the personality right now, or he was too goody to shoot babyface in that promo with Renee backstage. The fans were chanting bored, and I believe that they A out of the Hulu edition role. And they don't A out bad chance because on SmackDown the fans are telling Lana she can't wrestle. And they let that end. But I think that's supposed to be Lana's gimmick too. But Jordan, I thought they were literally going to make Angle his manager. That's what I thought Jordan was going to get over. I literally think the whole time this was playing to be a legitimate child. I literally think it was supposed to be Gable, but they figured everybody knew about the whole time. Everybody was going to figure it out, so they just went with Swerve. Let's go with Jason Jordan because...
Yeah, sometimes WWE gets like that. Like, it feels like the storyline's going one way, and people can predict it going that way, and the company's like, let's move that over there now. And a lot of times it actually makes the storyline a lot worse than what it actually could have been if they just kept it as predictable.
Because Gable's handling the singles push in SmackDown. So like, if they were going to do it, make them go on their own. And I get why they want Jordan on his own. Because Angle, they don't want Angle to overshadow him. But Jordan has no personality to speak of either.
However, they also put him in a difficult spot because unofficially you made him the son of one of the best wrestlers to ever live.
Right. But that's his job to make it work.
Yeah.
Gable could have made that work. Because Gable can talk on mic. And he has charisma if he could. And Jordan's charisma is him getting fired up in the ring. I mean, nobody's denying that he's not a good talent. But that only means so much right now on this roster between the 4 shows that you're